Hello and welcome to Intelligent Pod, the show where curiosity meets clarity. I'm Sophie Lane, and I'm thrilled to have you with me today for what I think is one of the most pressing and fascinating conversations of our time: the future of truth in the age of synthetic media. Let's face it, if you're listening to this, you've probably already encountered synthetic media, even if you didn't realize it. Maybe you've seen a deepfake video of a celebrity, or read a news article that was generated by artificial intelligence. Maybe you've played with those apps that turn your photos into Renaissance paintings. Or you've chatted with a chatbot online and found yourself wondering, is this a real person? Synthetic media is seeping into our daily lives, and with it comes some genuinely mind-bending questions about what's true, what's fabricated, and how we can tell the difference. So, today, we're diving deep. We'll explore what synthetic media actually is, how it's challenging our traditional notions of truth, and what psychologists, scientists, and cultural analysts are saying about the impact. I'll show a real-life story that might surprise you, walk through a key academic study, and most importantly, offer some practical tools you can use to navigate this strange new world. So, let's get started. First, let's define our terms. Synthetic media refers to content, videos, images, audio, even text, that's created or manipulated by artificial intelligence. The most famous example is probably the deepfake, video or audio recordings that can make someone appear to say or do something they never actually did. But synthetic media also includes things like AI-generated news stories, virtual influencers on social media, and those eerily realistic voices generated for smart assistants. And the growth is staggering. According to a 2023 report by Deeptrace, the number of deepfake videos online doubled every 6 months between 2018 and 2022. That's exponential growth. And it's not just about videos. The Washington Post reported that over 30% of online newsrooms are now using some form of AI to generate articles or summaries. At first glance, this is pretty cool, right? The technology is amazing. But it also raises a serious question. If we can't trust our own eyes and ears, what happens to our shared sense of truth? Let's make this really concrete. Imagine you're scrolling through your social media feed and you see a video of a world leader saying something outrageous. It's shared by thousands of people, it's trending, and it seems to confirm your worst suspicions. But what if that video isn't real? What if it's a deepfake, created for the express purpose of manipulating public opinion? Suddenly, the line between reality and fabrication gets very blurry. This isn't a hypothetical scenario. In 2019, a deep-fake video of Nancy Pelosi, Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives, was circulated widely on Facebook. The video had been subtly altered to make her appear intoxicated and was viewed millions of times before it was flagged. And that's just one example. In another case, deep-fake audio was used to trick a CEO into wiring hundreds of thousands of dollars to a scammer. The voice on the phone sounded exactly like his boss. The accent, the tone, the little verbal quirks. It was all fake. So, how did we get here? Let's take a step back and look at the psychological perspective. Human beings are wired to trust what we see and hear. For most of our evolutionary history, our senses were our most reliable source of information about the world. If you saw a tiger in the grass, you ran. If you heard a storm coming, you sought shelter. Our brains are not naturally equipped to question the authenticity of sensory information. Now, enter synthetic media. Suddenly, our senses can be fooled in ways we never imagined. A 2022 study from MIT found that even tech-savvy participants could only identify deepfake videos with about 65% accuracy, barely better than flipping a coin. And when they were told that some videos were fake, their overall trust in all videos, real or not, dropped significantly. This phenomenon is sometimes called the liar's dividend. When people know that media can be faked, it becomes easier for bad actors to dismiss genuine evidence as fake news. It's a double-edged sword. Not only does synthetic media make it easier to spread lies, but it also makes it harder to believe the truth. From a scientific and technical perspective, the tools for creating synthetic media are advancing at a breathtaking pace. Open-source software like Deepfakes Lab and commercial tools like Synthesia make it possible for almost anyone with a laptop to create convincing fake videos. Meanwhile, the line between what's generated by a human and what's generated by a machine is getting thinner every day. But here's the thing. It's not all doom and gloom. Synthetic media can also be used for good. For example, AI is being used to restore old films, create educational content in multiple languages, and even help people with disabilities communicate. The technology itself isn't inherently evil. It's how we use it and how we prepare ourselves to respond to it that matters. Culturally, we're in the middle of a paradigm shift. For centuries, we've relied on institutions, news organizations, academic journals, even governments to help us distinguish truth from falsehood. But in the age of synthetic media, those gatekeepers are less effective. Anyone can create, publish, and distribute content that looks and sounds authentic. Some cultures are responding with skepticism and caution. In China, for example, there are strict regulations about synthetic media and deepfakes, with watermarks required on AI-generated content. In the US and Europe, the conversation is more about free speech and transparency. There's a lively debate happening right now about how much regulation is appropriate and who gets to decide what's real. Let me share an anecdote that really brings this home. Last year, a high school student in the UK was accused of saying something offensive in a video that circulated among classmates. The video was a deep fake created by another student as a prank, but the damage was real. The accused student faced disciplinary action and social ostracism before the truth came out. This is not just an issue for politicians or celebrities. The democratization of these tools means anyone can be targeted, and the consequences can be devastating. So what can we do? How do we protect ourselves and our communities from the dangers of synthetic media while still embracing its creative potential? Here are a few actionable steps you can start using today. First, develop your digital skepticism. Just as we're taught to read critically, we need to learn to watch and listen critically. If you see a video or hear an audio clip that seems shocking or too good to be true, pause before sharing. Ask yourself, where did this come from? Is it reported by reputable sources? Can it be corroborated elsewhere? Second, look for verification tools. There are already AI-powered platforms like Deepware and Sensity that can help detect deepfakes. Browser extensions like InVid can help you analyze videos and track down their origins. Familiarize yourself with these tools and use them when something seems off. Third, advocate for transparency and digital literacy. If you're a parent, talk to your kids about synthetic media and how to spot it. If you're an educator or a manager, encourage discussions about media authenticity. The more we talk about these issues, the better prepared we'll be. Fourth, support organizations and legislation that promote media integrity. That might mean backing journalists who are committed to fact-checking and transparency, or encouraging your representatives to consider sensible regulations around synthetic media. And finally, cultivate empathy and patience. Mistakes will happen. People will fall for fakes, and trust will be shaken. But remember, technology changes fast, but our ability to adapt is even faster when we work together. Let's recap. Today, we explored the future of truth in the age of synthetic media. We looked at how AI-generated content is challenging our senses and our institutions, examined psychological, scientific, and cultural perspectives, and discussed real-life consequences and actionable strategies. The key takeaway is this. While synthetic media poses real risks, it also offers incredible opportunities. The challenge is to stay informed, stay skeptical, and stay connected to each other and to the truth. I want to leave you with a reflective thought. In a world where seeing is no longer believing, our commitment to truth becomes more important and more personal than ever. We may not be able to control the technology, but we can control our response. We can choose curiosity over cynicism, empathy over outrage, and wisdom over impulse. Thank you so much for joining me on Intelligent Pod today. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. It really helps others discover the show. For show notes, links to studies, and more resources, visit intelligentpod.com. And I'd love to hear your thoughts, questions, or stories about synthetic media. Just email me at sophie@intelligentpod.com. Until next time, stay curious and stay smart. I'm Sophie Lane, and this is Intelligent Pod.